Hello, welcome. I'm Hannah, and today I want to invite you to time travel with me. To travel back to a time before most of the indie single shadow brands that we know and love were even conceived. A time when the most exciting releases in makeup were probably like whatever Kat Von D was making for Christmas. And a time when the first time I saw an iridescent shadow, I thought it was magic. Today, we're going to be revisiting the Alchemist palette from Kat Von D. I want to see how these shadows compare to the iridescent shadows of now. A little back history, if this is your first time seeing this palette. I went back in my Sephora orders long enough to see that I purchased this in June of 2017. I don't know exactly when it came out, but I feel like I remember getting it a couple months after it came out, and I believe that the Moonchild palette from Anastasia, which is the only other kind of like mainstream palette of this nature that I can think of, I'm pretty sure that one came out before this one, maybe in 2016, but it's hard to find dates for old things, and like I wish there was dates on Temptalia because she is such a great resource and she has reviews for all these things, but I have like no idea when they came out. But I saw some of the comments on the Moonchild one said 7 years ago. So that would mean 2016. I didn't get that one. I remember wanting it, and I think it was just me not, having money to buy all of the makeup I was interested in at the time. And this one was a little bit cheaper. The Moonchild one was $40. This one was $32. And I'm pretty sure I went into Sephora and I was convinced, and then I ended up ordering it. Okay, I zoomed in so we could take a closer look. I actually still feel like the packaging is kind of cute. It's like textured without being bulky, so it lays completely flat, but you can definitely feel that like A in it. And it has this like iridescent finish. I think it's kind of pretty. It has Kat Von D on the side of it because this was before any drama with the brand and they were just Kat Von D. And the back of it says that it lasts 12 months. Whoops. I do remember really liking these shadows, but also not using them that much. And I was curious if I was going to open this and see that I actually did have like big dips in them, and my version of not using it that much back then is different than now because these were the only shadows of this type that I had back then. But I really don't have big dips. Like I could definitely see that they were all used to like a small degree, but nothing crazy. I think I also couldn't get past the fact that like I couldn't just see what the colors were because obviously they look white for the most part. It does have like the color in the name. We have green emerald, blue sapphire, ultraviolet amethyst, and pink opal, but it did just require slightly more thought than opening a palette and seeing a color and using the color, And I found with makeup, really small things like that do deter me from using colors. I find that with my iridescents nowadays that I've really taken a step away from using the truly white iridescents because it is kind of annoying to have to like figure out what each one is before I use it. I don't know. So I wanted to do some swatches of these before we compare. They feel like a very smooth powder, not flaky or anything, which actually is okay with me because I have found that this type of shadow, my favorite way to use it is on my inner corner, and I prefer to have a smoother finish in my inner corner. Huh. Yeah, these very much do come alive in their color, but I don't think they're giving me any sort of magic. They don't look that shiny or anything, but they definitely do look like distinct colors. And I think maybe, it was just easier to impress me with that type of thing back then. And I was like, wait, the pan looks white, but it actually swatches purple? Like, what? Okay, I also swatch these in the back of my hand so we can compare. Usually I'll do one swipe when I do swatches. These were all one swipe as you saw, but I did layer these up and do 2 swipes on each. I pulled out Space Baby from Terra Moons. This is one of my favorite ones. I love using this blue on my inner corners when I'm doing blue looks, but again, the only thing that holds me back from using it is just not knowing which one is Space Baby when I look into my palettes. Wow, what a difference. Yeah, they both definitely have that iridescent thing going on, but the shine of Space Baby is just on a different planet than the KVD one. UV from Cleona is my purple one. Okay, this one, I mean, it definitely is a step up from this one, but I think it's less of a jump than the Terra Moons one is from this. But I really do like UV. I think of it as a very, like, subtle type of iridescent inner corner, but I really like it for my purple looks. And then for the green and the pink ones, I actually don't have true iridescence in those colors. For green, what I tend to use is Divina Fairy Fire. For pink, I use Divina Soles, but I don't think those would be characterized as iridescence because they don't look white in the pan. They just have that kind of like glowy finish with no base that works for me for my inner corners. So instead, for the green, I'm going to use Light Year from Terra Moons. This one I think of as like a yellow iridescent, but actually on my finger it's looking, I mean, it's like, you know, green and yellow aren't too far off. It's looking a little green. So there's that one. How gorgeous. I need to remember to use that one more. And I grabbed out Halo from Cleona to stand in for the pink one. This is more of a red iridescent. Yeah, I think you could definitely see a similarity in these two Cleona ones. I wouldn't even say that this formula speaks for all Cleona iridescents, because I've also had others that are very flaky and chunky. These are just the ones that, like, I like best. This is my favorite type of iridescent formula that they have for the type of looks that I like to use iridescence for. I wanted to do a little swatch comparison of my eyes, and I think I'm going to do the blue ones for that. So I'm going to take Terra Moon's Space Baby. This isn't a shadow that I tend to wear on my lids, just because I like it for an inner corner. But that is pretty, like I definitely could. And then let's take Blue Sapphire from here. Yeah, this one looks very chalky. Like I've definitely tried eyeshadows that I like less than this, but it's not really doing what I want eyeshadows to do for me nowadays. I had Divina Soles on my inner corner before, and I feel like you could still kind of see that. Let's pop some inner corner ones in for fun too. I want to do Amethyst from this, the Ultraviolet Amethyst. And I'm going to do that on the Space Baby side, just so you can like see the contrast. Okay, and wiping my brush off, I'm going to put UV on the other side. I just feel like the glow, I mean, like this also, I've swatched worse, but I like that. And this, I mean, it is glowing, but it's not really doing much. That is funny though. It's like, I respect the Alchemist palette. I think it was ahead of its time. And I think it was really giving us something new for the time. And I love that. Innovation is cool. Stepping stones are cool. But I'm just so happy with where makeup is now. Because this shadow is so gorgeous. This inner corner is so gorgeous. The swatches speak for themselves. So I feel like this was like a weird little video. But I think it's fun to take a look down memory lane. These things are like artifacts in the beauty community. It's funny how like 2017 doesn't feel that long ago for my life, but when I look at all of the makeup innovations that have happened since then, it feels like a lifetime ago. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, I really appreciate it, and there's going to be more kind of like nostalgic makeup revisits coming up. I have a couple that I've already done leading up to an eventual nostalgic makeup declutter, because I'm not planning on keeping all of these things forever. It just kind of happened this way. Either way, thank you so much for being here. Bye.